Welcome, everyone. Turn your cameras on. Oh, welcome to our third elimination. I have a question to ask all of you.
Yeah.
Do you all feel like you are on the same page as a team?
I would hope.
I would also hope.
I feel like we're on the same page.
I think that I think we are too, but then I guess, I mean, I could be completely wrong and going home tonight, so who knows?
I guess my follow-up question is, what page is that? What are the priorities of this team?
Oh.
I feel like the priority for this team was, and is, to win challenges and to not have to vote people off because, look, maybe this is a controversial thing to say. It's not that I enjoyed voting people off last season when I played. It's not that I didn't like those people, but there's something about this team and this season where I just feel so much more intimacy with this team and this group of people than I did with the last time I played. And I think it's because we have this unifying thing in common that's like, we've all been through this before. And like, we've watched each other play as a viewer or as a former teammate. And I just like the thought of voting any single person off our team makes my skin crawl, makes me so upset. Every single person on this team, I genuinely think is so cool and so awesome and funny and spectacular, and I don't want to vote one off.
I genuinely could not agree more. Like, I was like, because like it's like weird because like in like prior seasons you were like, okay, well I guess I could like base it off of this and that, but then like in this season it's like, well, what do I base it off of now? What do I do now? And it's like, it's so hard and so wacky. And it's not like it, I feel like there's more reasons for me to not vote someone off. But at the end of the day, like, I know it's there and I have to do it. And but like, I don't know why, like playing on the favorites, it's like makes you think like, because everyone's so worthy of going to the top, it like makes you think like, oh shit. Like, what am I gonna do now?
This is why the priority of this team was to and is to win, so we don't have to get rid of anyone because we all think so highly of each other. And like, I don't want to see a fan win this season.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I really don't.
No.
I think the fans are awesome. I'm like honored that they are fans because I also am a fan. That's why I signed up. But I think that this group has been through it twice and we've gotten smarter and braver and crazier for it. And therefore, I think that, you know, if any of us make it to emerge, like no matter what, we have to stick together. Even though we have to eat each other alive, we have to stick together as a team no matter where we go, no matter like what happens. Like we have to have each other's backs here. And we have to watch out for those fans because I'm sure that there's something up their sleeves because I don't know. They probably be thinking.
Something's brewing over there. Something's happening.
Feels
Something's happening. I want to know what it is.
Yeah.
Well, I would be careful not to underestimate them because I want to remind you all that their first ever vote was a double elimination blindside. They're playing hard.
That's what I'm saying. Is that like I think that there is something powerful over there, and so I think that that's why we have to have each other's back no matter what happens, and that the favorites need to stick together for as long as we can.
And let me just say this, with having played this humble little game before, if you make too big of a move at the beginning, that can set your entire team up for failure later. Because if you vote out someone who could be an asset to your group early on, which I feel that Izzy was, I think that could be detrimental for them later, because I think she was a great strategist, and I think that there was easily a way where she could have taken some of us out. But
Can I ask a question, Matthew? I don't want to take your job away. Can I ask a question?
I mean, yeah, feel free to speak up.
So, is the only reason why, Brett, that you thought she was a strategist was because you are close friends with her and you would have been an ally to her, and that you probably would have stabbed us in the back? Is that why she would have gotten far? Is that why? If she made it to the merge, would you have used her? You would have.
I would have talked to her, sure, and I would have tried to flip her over to us so we could take out the fans, but I also know that she would have blindsided any one of us given them opportunity. I do know her well, and that's why I would have aligned with her. I'm not going to align with someone that I don't know as well, because I already have 5 other people I know right here who I think would be great allies moving forward. So sure, it makes sense to pair up with people we know over there, and I guarantee there's, people over here who know other people over there too. George's phone is ringing. She's popular queen. Matthew's calling her, sabotaging the episode. No, I think there's definitely connections people have to the other side over there too, because I mean, we just all know each other now after 2 quarters of school, and some people know Matthew's sister quite well. So there's definitely connections everyone has over to the other side for sure.
I do want to rephrase a little bit Danny's question for you, Brett. Then, are you saying that the value of those real life relationships can outweigh some of these survivor relationships in the game? Because I am wondering how some of us who have known you for 4 years, how people who have known you for less time than the rest of us are supposed to receive that.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's a game, and the relationships you make in the game for the game are stronger than anything. I think also it turns into a thing where then everyone, so then it's okay to kind of twist the knife in someone's back a little bit more. It's a friendly twist, but it's still a twist. You're still gonna vote their ass out.
Are we gonna be twisting a knife in someone's back tonight?
Probably. I like all 5 of you, so yeah, I feel like I'm going to be twisting a knife in someone's back tonight, and it's going to suck.
Grace,
I could get a knife twisted on my back tonight. That could be fun too. I would prefer not to, but
actually, you know what, Georgia? I actually have a question for you before I go over to Grace.
What?
What is the difference between a threat and an asset, and how do you define each?
Here's the thing. I think that a threat is something that you need to consider further down the line, if that makes sense. I think this was a lot of what my experience was when I played last time, was that I felt like I was an asset earlier on, but I wasn't being heard because I was viewed as a threat. But I think that, which was what made everything about it so difficult. But I think that this season, what's very interesting is that line between a threat and an asset is being considered a lot more seriously than it has been in previous seasons. So I think there's a fine line, but I think that a threat is someone who you have to worry about after we merge. An asset is someone who you need to value while we're still 2 separate teams. But sometimes that's the same person. Sometimes someone who's going to be an asset for you before the merge will be a threat after the merge. So it's a timing thing. Who do you keep around long enough, but then vote out just in time? Because, I mean, when we start playing individual challenges, it's going to get crazy. And when we start having to fraternize with the other side, it's going to get crazy. So I think that the answer to your question, Matthew, is that it's a fine line. It's a fine line.
Well, Brian, I kind of want to throw this follow-up question over to you, especially because I am so shocked and delighted to have your face here. I guess the question is, if you not get the threats out early enough, aren't they sometimes the most dangerous? And don't they also have the strongest chance of winning in the end?
Well, I unfortunately did not have the opportunity to make it past the merge, but I've watched enough Survivor to know But I think Georgia said it best, but I'll kind of rephrase it, the saying, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. You never know who's going to work out for you in this game. You never know. And I think that was my biggest mistake last game was I went with the easy people when in reality, it's the people that are making the big moves against you that later on could actually help you.
Danny?
Well, first off, Matthew, this is fans versus favorites. We're all the big brain. Let's get that straight. We're all threats. But I mean that as a compliment. We're all threats. I mean that as a compliment because in this game right now, we all have a 1 out of 14 chance of winning the hypothetical $1 million. Those aren't incredible odds. There have been better odds. There have been worse odds that we've had to play against. Now, I think every single person in this game on the fan side and on the favorite side can be considered a threat because already we're plowing through this game. We had a double elimination last week. We had no idea about it until we got to the challenge. That's crazy to me. Like this is going by so fast. And I think we need to take every single player in this game into consideration as either an asset, someone that can vote with you, or a threat, someone that can vote against you. And I mean that as a compliment because nothing better in Survivor than just having some good competition.
Grace, I've been holding on to this question for quite some time, as you might remember, and I've finally decided that it's time to ask. How do you decide when to make a big move?
Excellent question, Matthew Schwartz. I think it all comes down to the time of when it really is like on timing. Like, oh, this is such a hard question. And I'm not just saying that just like, I'm not like tiptoeing around anything. Like I genuinely like, this is a hard question to answer. I think it all depends on your short-term and your long-term goals in the game and seeing where you're trying to get. And so if you see that big move being the solution to that goal, then like you got to take it. And yeah, I think it is really dependent on like the timing, the situation, the environment that you're currently in. So yeah.
I think that is completely correct because I don't actually think that there's a set formula to it. I think that it's like you need to read the room that you're in. And like right now, I think that when you look at like season 1 versus season 2 versus season 3, we were all at such different places at this point in the game in each one of our respective seasons. Like this season, it really is like there's a kind of the unifying energy we were talking about. And so now it's like, I think that the big moves that are going to come along are going to be further down the line when the fans really start to come more into play into our dynamic. Because, I mean, this time last season, it was like, you out. And people were like, no. And it was just, there was so much more fear involved. And this season, I don't know, maybe there is more fear on the fan side that I don't know about. But this season for us, it's feeling very like, what should we do today? Not really sure what we're going to do because we're feeling that comfort that you referred to last time, Matthew, as returning players. We have a comfort because we know how this goes. And so that comfort kind of gives us, I think, an opportunity to be a little bit more thought out and calm and reasonable in our thought process.
Because like this time, like during my season, we didn't go, the blue team didn't go to eliminations. And so I was just chilling, having the time of my life. And I didn't really get that like fire under my ass until my first elimination. And like the people that didn't align with me voted for me. And I was like, me? You're gonna vote out me? And so then like that lit the fire under my ass and I just had to keep going. And so like now that I'm here and I like have strayed away from that like shy first day of college, I don't know what I'm doing here, oh, woe is me, to like, fuck it, let's do it again. Like, yeah, like I'm like, it's a very interesting dynamic doing this again.
I
Danny?
just want to say that on my season, on season 1, now on Friends versus Favorites, this is the technical 4th elimination of the season. Is that correct? Because the 4th person is going home.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This was my elimination on season 1. The 4th time around, I was out. Was booted. It was Jamie, Lucas, Catherine, and me. So I really feel like right now I have a super chip on my shoulder to be like, I'm gonna do fucking better than the first time. I'm gonna get past the 4th elimination of the season. I'm gonna do it. So I'm with you, Grace.
Well, let me ask everyone a question, because we're talking about comfort. Raise your hand if you feel safe at tonight's vote. And be honest, because I know some of you do. So, thank you.
You are nuts.
Thank you.
Honesty
It's our
is
second time around. Any of you feel safe? Fuck that.
Honesty is the best policy.
transparency.
Does the rest of the group agree with the consensus that it's between Danny and Brett tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That these two people, Danny and Brett, who got into this feud at their first elimination, seem to be the two that are in the most danger tonight. How does that make either of you two feel?
I want to say that I don't this goes for life. I don't feel safe ever. I am a scared person all the time. I go to therapy, I take antidepressants, I do the whole lot. I'm an acting I go to acting school. Okay? I infamously have made bad decisions in my life. So that's kind of why I didn't raise my hand. However, I do feel like I'm embarrassed. I kind of do feel like there is a bit of a plan in motion enough for me to feel safe, at least to get to the next elimination. That's what I will say.
So you feel like the vote is pretty solidly on Brett tonight?
I do. Also, I'll say it, I don't care. I'm voting for Brett, so
Wow.
it's pretty out and out. There's
Oh.
only, there's
This
only
is
one thing.
awful.
He's like cutthroat.
Danny and Brett, two of you guys got in this argument at the first elimination about whether we're viewing each other as competitors in the long run, or whether we are fundamentally viewing each other as competitors or teammates. How have both of your opinions evolved with this piece of information?
Well, I considered you a teammate till about 5 minutes ago.
I considered Brett a teammate until he didn't consider any of us teammates. As much as he wants to say that he considered us teammates, like, Emily, I'm going to look at you through my Zoom eyes. You're a teammate. Grace, you're a teammate. Brian, you're a teammate. Georgia, you're a teammate. Matthew, you were a teammate at one point, and I commend you for that, my little Victor. But Brett, like, you're talking about people on the other team, man. Like, I feel like this is, I don't know.
As who's a threat over there?
Maybe I'm going, but like, who knows? But like, I have all the respect in the world for Brett. I think of everyone else as a teammate and Brett as a competitor because I know he thinks of me as a competitor. That's what I think.
I guess you are entitled to that opinion. That is something you are allowed to think and say.
I know, I'm sorry.
To quote myself from season 1, I think we're all threats here. I think that everyone here is a competitor and a teammate. I love watching you guys play Survivor. That's all I have to say.
You love them so much that you will be voting for one of them this evening.
Yes.
Yes, because better them than me, baby.
So before we go into tonight's vote, because this episode has been crazy. Absolutely.
I'm shaking, dog.
This is one of the juiciest episodes I've ever witnessed. And what an array of faces to be saying the words that make me so excited. I have a final question before we get into tonight's vote.
Yes, Matthew.
What do you all think loyalty looks like this season? This season is different from the other two. What does loyalty mean this season? And is this team loyal?
I think this team is more loyal than any other season that you've seen before. And it's almost scary because it feels so comfortable and loyal, like since the beginning. So, post merge, I think that we're going to be a tight team. I can honestly say I trust each and every single one of the people that are on this screen right now. That's where I'm at.
Emily.
My turn to speak. I don't feel a lot of trust right now in the group. There has been lying this week, and I've learned many things. And there have been some people who I realize that I maybe don't trust completely, even though I would say majority of the team, yes, I do feel comfortable. But yeah, the game started early this year for me. I was in the same situation as Grace. The Dynamites did not go to elimination until like 6 people had already left the Red Scare or something like that. So the game is moving very fast. And so I have had to really figure out who is on my team. Because this is our team, and I'm very supportive of our team because I want to take down the fans. I want top 5 to literally be all of us. Like, come on. But who's on my team? And who is going to fight for me like I fight for other people to stay in the game?
That is huge, and that is the entire question. And what I'm gathering is that a lot of people are going to say the things that the group needs to hear while also voting the way that they need. This has been one of the most telling elimination episodes of all time. So let's find out what it all means tonight. Let's get it out there. There's been a lot of talk, but not a lot of answers. So when I say your name, please message me the name of the person you will be eliminating tonight. Emily. Grace. Brian. Danny.
Oh my god, I wonder who he's gonna vote for.
Georgia.
Throwing a hinky vote towards Grace.
Now I'm nervous. God.
And Brett. Now, before I read the votes, I would like to ask if anyone has the immunity item and would like to play it. Now would be your time to do so.
No.
All right. It's time to read the votes. We have a vote for Brett.
Oh my god, canceled.
We have a vote for Danny. 1 vote Danny, 1 vote Brett. We have a second vote for Danny. We have a vote for Danny. And a 4th vote for Danny.
Oh, god damn it, I did it again. Oh, good job, Brett.
It takes
Game, Danny.
Grace. My heart.
You say my name? Hey, bestie.
I'm just kidding. I really love you so much.
Danny, you're so fucking cool. God,
Danny, I am genuinely in love with you.
this is awful.
Guys, what happened? Can I ask? What the fuck happened? I didn't feel so good. Obviously, I felt terrible. But I felt like confident in our move.
I'm very sorry, Danny. Obviously, you know if anyone loves you in this world, it's me.
Mm-hmm.
Always come back. Please, God.
I know, Matthew Schwartz.
And if you have any last words that you'd like to share with the group before you end your video, now is your time to say your piece.
This is kind of good because I'm going into rehearsal tomorrow for a production to spam a lot, so I kind of needed
That's so fun.
I kind of needed my nights open, but I still wanted to play the game. No, you guys are awesome, and you're all my friends. And Brett, everything I said was a lie. No, it wasn't, but it was. I honestly don't know. You got me out of the game again. So
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. But no, props.
All right, Danny.
Mm-hmm.
I love you.
Bye, guys.
Love you, Danny.
And with that, that has been our third elimination episode, our fourth total elimination of Survivor Season 3, Fans versus Favorites. If that doesn't get you wanting more, I don't know what will. Everyone is like, team swap, team swap, team swap. You do not let us surprise you anymore.
Shit. Fuck.
I got it.
Oh, God. Easy.
I mean, what is more fun than something that's completely random?